Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fandom Frequency Network, y'all. It's your boy Kenny, joined by my main man Skips over there.
Yo,
How you doing, my friend?
doing great, man. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. You know what I'm saying? Just taking it day by day and enjoying all this great fandom dopeness all across the fandom multiverse, guys. And for all you people, all you beautiful people watching and listening to this, we are back with none other than the MCU's latest and greatest 7 foot tall woman. She-Hulk is up in this thing, man. It's episode 2 of the 9 episode run of She-Hulk. We didn't have the highest expectations of all time going into this thing. We're both more casual fans of She-Hulk, if you will. But you all know we love and breathe the MCU. So we're going to talk about everything that happens in the corner of the MCU always. But make sure you click that like and subscribe button, guys. It always helps the show out immensely. And it's been growing so much lately, guys. Every single week, we're just growing new subscribers, new followers. People engaging with the channel so much, man. It's really humbling. It's been really such a great time getting into all this stuff, guys. So make sure you keep it up and let us know what you thought about the episode down below. And with no further ado, we'll start to recap some of the big plot points going from the beginning to the end of the episode. So I guess I'll start us off there. And we pick up pretty much right at the end of episode 1, where, you're getting all the news recaps, all the news segments talking about, oh shit, Jennifer Walters turned into this female Hulk and she went up and kicked some ass in court and all that stuff. And then I love the whole thing in the beginning with the guy like, oh yeah, she's pretty decent looking or whatever, but she turned into a big ass like She-Hulk. He's like, yeah, I like that. She-Hulk.
Caught the name caught on. Yeah.
Yeah. And even Jennifer's like, oh, I hope that name doesn't catch on, man. This sucks. And then, but everything goes to shit for her quite quickly because as she finds out from her boss when she runs into him at the bar after she has been throwing back shots like Little John's up in there, her boss comes over to her and tells her, hey, the case got thrown out. You did a great job earlier on, but since you smashed Titania in the face, we're going to have to fire you and we have to throw out the case. And she's like, what the fuck? And then you get the whole opening title sequence. And another funny little detail, Titania in the MCU is apparently a influencer. So you can follow her on IG and TikTok apparently up in the MCU. So that's pretty interesting. Really? And plays into the actress a little bit because she has a pretty big social media presence. So I liked how they did that. Not sure if she's going to come back around in the future, but we'll definitely get in more into that in a bit. But man, so Jennifer's got to look for a new job. You know what I'm saying? I can definitely relate to that. And she's just trying to get out there and become still be a lawyer. But everyone's like, nah, can't hire you. Too much Hulk shit going on. So they throw her out of there, and then she's with her girl Nikki trying to figure it out. And then she ends up getting a call to join up with the superhero law firm pretty much. And the guy comes up to her and tells her, hey, I pretty much got your case thrown out so that way you'd have to come work for us. And we got this whole superhero law firm over here. We'd love you to join. So why don't you come on down and represent Emil Blonsky, a.k.a. the Abomination. She's like, what the fuck? The guy that tried to kill my cousin? Isn't that a conflict of interest, bro? Nah, he signed a waiver. You're good. You're good. And if you don't take the case, we can't have you work here. So just remember, if you want to pay your bills and shit, you're going to have to take this case on. So you pretty much have to do it. So she ends up having to go meet up with Emil Blonsky and everything. And namaste, if you will. You get to see the great Tim Roth coming up in here doing his thing as Emil Blonsky. But we don't see any Abomination in this episode, guys, because he has gone completely vegan. No, I was playing, but he's gone completely peaceful now. And he's, he's pretty much done what Bruce Banner has done. And I like this little detail here because they've pretty much mirrored their character arcs in a sense to where he's learned to control the Abomination and can go between it at will and has become more peaceful and less resentful as a side effect of that, and is trying to right all his wrongs, Bucky style, and make his amends. And he writes his little haikus and whatnot. But is it all an act?
That's what I was thinking.
We'll have to discuss it. Okay, but we'll have to find out soon. But so Jennifer's on the fence about representing him, but she's like, you know what? I'll call Bruce and let him know. Fuck it. I'll have to take the case. I got to get this money. I got to get this bread somehow. And so she ends up doing so. She calls Bruce and he's like, hey, it's all good. He wrote me a funny little letter back in the day. Really, it was really a touching letter. We're good. We moved on. That was like 15 years ago. Who gives a shit? And but I gotta go. And you see him fly off into hyperspace in a fucking spaceship. What the hell does that mean? Stay tuned. Right. We're going to discuss that as well. But yeah, man, he's all up in space and shit again. I'm like, what does this mean? What does this
Yeah,
mean? We'll
it
find
goes.
out. But yeah, man, it's crazy. And then she ends up having to yeah, she's like, all right, cool. It looks like I'm gonna be representing Emil Blonsky. And then she gets a call from her boss, and he's like, yep, yeah, you're on. We're good. Glad to have you. You might want to check out the news though. And she does turn on the news, and you see Abomination there's been a prison break. This motherfucker got out of there because guess what, y'all?
Oh.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings crossover, motherfuckers. Timeline shift. We are back 2025, y'all, because he is over there in do you remember the country his sister Xialing was in?
I can't remember. I can't
God
remember.
damn, I hate that. I'm like, I think it was Beijing, maybe? Somewhere like that. But
I
she
would
was
say,
somewhere in the East and at her fight club, essentially. Shang-Chi's sister, for those of you that don't know, one of the coolest new introductions of a character in Phase 4, in my personal opinion. I love that character,
totally.
Zhang Li. And yeah, so he well, we know who broke him out. Apparently it was our boy Wong. So that's going to come back around, as we know from the trailers and She-Hulk, of course. But he broke the boy out to go fight over there in the Underground Fight Club and everything like that. And now we know where this takes place in the timeline, because I was actually wondering that last episode. So that was pretty much the big mic drop of the episode. And then we see in the little fun after credit scene, they're pretty much taking advantage. Jennifer's family that she met with earlier in the episode, I forgot to mention that. We met Jennifer's family, goddammit. What am I talking about here?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, we met her brother, father, some uncles and aunts and stuff like that. So essentially, we got to meet more of Bruce's family. First time in the MCU, correct?
First time. We haven't really heard.
Because
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
trying to
remember
even think
meeting
back
his
to like
dad,
Edward
right?
Norton.
We never met
Yeah.
his dad, did we? I
Did
don't
we
think
meet
so. I
Edward
haven't
Norton?
watched Incredible Hulk in a long time, y'all.
Yeah, that was like a
And
long. I think
you
it.
know, I'm gonna say this live right here for y'all too. It's almost like a mental note, but a live note for you guys too. I'm gonna have to rewatch Incredible Hulk before this series is over. I gotta refresh my memory, because I feel like there's gonna be some other tie-in stuff there. And just for the Abomination alone too, I kind of want to see the consistency of where his character is now compared to where he was then. Because
Right.
it's interesting the way he kind of went into that whole thing where he's talking about how he doesn't necessarily the bad guy is like everyone thinks, and they kind of villainized him in a way. And I'm like, kind of see what he's saying here. Don't know if that's
Yeah.
entirely true, but I kind of see what he's saying here, and it does kind of line up for what I remember, because I've seen it about twice over the years. So I Drew way back in the day when it first dropped on cable in like 2010, something like
Oh
that.
God.
And then I
Yeah.
watched it again when I did the whole phase 1 through 3 watch for Infinity War. I watched it again back in like 2018. So haven't watched it again in like 4 years, but I definitely need to rewatch Incredible Hulk again before this series is over. But that was pretty much all the big details of the episode. So I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away, because you did say you noticed a couple big Easter eggs up in there. And we'll also discuss some of
Yeah.
the details that stuck out to us and our overall thoughts. But first and foremost, take it away with the Easter eggs, sir.
Okay. So like, all right, I'm gonna like I want to see if you noticed it. Okay, so you know how when she was like looking through her jobs and stuff like that, she was going on that job search,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you see her looking at the job listings, and then you see some articles on the right hand side of it.
Didn't pay attention to those. So
Yeah, there was two stories that mentioned. I want to mention one of them for sure, like for sure, which is gonna be the Celestial. They're saying about why,
Eternals, right?
yeah,
Oh,
why is there like a
fucking
weird
giant
creature, like
alien.
giant creature hand coming out of like head coming out of the ocean and stuff like that, referencing that.
Woo-hoo.
And there was another one that mentions about a man that was who about a man with metal claws broke out in a fight in a bar.
Huh? What?
Yeah, meant people are hinting that that might be Wolverine. They were
Dog,
hint.
you can't be fucking serious,
That's
bro.
what I had to double check it
How did I
even
miss this
again.
shit?
That's
I
what it.
have to go double check that. What the fuck?
Yeah,
What?
it said it was like an article on the right hand side. I had to double check. I was like, "What the?
It's like
Did he
Scream
just mention
5
like
with the Kirby
Wolverine or some
reveal.
shit?" Right? And then
Man,
that's why it's like, "What the?" I'm like, and I had looked at it. I'm like, "Damn it, that's legit what
I-
it is."
yeah,
So
that's definitely what they're teasing. Who the fuck else has metal claws?
I mean, they probably could mention like some other heroes that I probably won't be fond of, but I know for the vast majority, they're like a
Lady
man with
Deathstrike?
claws.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Who the fuck else has metal claws?
yeah, that's like, and they like these specifically mention like a man with metal claws. I'm like, that has to be
In a
Wolverine
bar.
in a
And I'm like,
bar,
that
dude.
fucking, I'm like, that's very Wolverine-ish.
That is so Wolverine-ish. And that when I seen that, I was
Yeah,
like, okay. I'm like, they're ramping up for what Kevin Feige mentioned earlier. I think
X-Men,
this,
dude.
yeah, he mentioning that Phase 5 is gonna be about mutants pretty much. And I'm like, okay, I mean,
That
yeah,
lines
dude.
up, dog. That lines
It,
up.
that's what I was like,
Man.
okay, that's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see that in the future. Maybe some callbacks, possibly of maybe him, the whoever is gonna be playing Wolverine, actually getting a fight in a bar, and it'll be kind of callback maybe to She-Hulk or something like that.
Like they did with Shang-Chi in the She-Hulk thing. So it's like tying all
Yeah,
these different timeline stuff together. But
yeah,
man,
that
uh,
was the
damn.
main use too. And then like the Hulk going into spaceship, I feel like that's if the rights go right with the Universal for them to actually for Marvel and Disney to actually make
The Hulk.
the Hulk film, that could possibly lead to a storyline World War Hulk or something else down the line. There's some opportunities there for sure. That's why
Yep.
that was like a big reveal when it came to Bruce Banner coming into the screen, and also the two articles as well.
Damn,
But
bro. Good shit, sir. That's
yeah,
what we
dude.
do here, man. We get all those Easter eggs, man. That's what it's all about. Good shit, man. Good shit. But the spaceship, there's only one other possibility I could think of outside of like the obvious Hulk storylines.
Hmm.
Could be an Eternals tie-in as well.
Yeah, but how? Who would know of him? Well, everybody, pretty much all the Eternal like
Because
people.
Cersei, um, that was Gemma Chan's character's name, right? Cersei, or am I thinking about? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me pull up the damn names here. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. I need to
Yeah,
rewatch that
Cersei.
goddamn movie.
It's
Jeez.
Cersei. You're
Yeah,
right.
Cersei.
You're right.
Yeah, but yeah, Gemma Chan's character Cersei, she would know about him. Dane Whitman would know about him for
Mm,
sure because he's just normal until he got the sword real quick and talked to Blade for a second. We'll see where the hell that goes. Holy shit! I
yeah,
just remembered that.
that's a
Damn.
whole other thing. That's a
Yeah, that's
whole
a
other
whole nother
thing.
discussion we got to get into later. But whoa, man. But yeah, so it could be an Eternals tie-in, possibly. I don't think he's going to be in Guardians Volume 3, so I don't think it would tie in with anything there. So yeah,
Oh
if it
no.
ain't a Hulk storyline, the only thing I can think of is Eternals. But there could
Yeah.
be something else down the line that they're going to do. Starjammers, Phoenix Force, so many things they could do in the overall X-Men side of things. There's one character I was meaning to bring up too, speaking of which, that could tie into this as well. And I
Who?
think he might have been a World War Hulk. I'm forgetting his name. X-Men characters from space. He's a really big cosmic character. He's a pretty fairly big cosmic character in X-Men, especially in the more cosmic storylines like Dark Phoenix and things like that.
Oh.
Well, let me see. Here he is. Here he is, man. It's the dude with like the mohawk looking thing. It's a purple dude. We're definitely not talking about Thanos here. Where is it? Got to get this guy's name, man. Where is this character's name? Ah, telling you, man. Like this is like a huge character that could potentially be in the MCU, and I'm trying to fucking find him.
Let's see. Would it be?
The Trial of Jean Grey was one of them that he was in, but well, they fucking have his name in the goddamn article anywhere. God damn it.
I'm trying to see too. I'll help. You know, I'm gonna help you out in case.
Ah, god damn it. Because I feel like this character could totally make sense in here, but I can't fucking get his name.
You said he was like a celestial level, pretty much.
Like a cosmic character, but more like not celestial level, but
Oh, like a
character. Like a purple character, and I get fucking Psylocke. Give me a break. She's not
oh
purple. She wears purple. God damn it.
oh she wears.
Ah, damn, man. I cannot pull this guy. I cannot find this character, man. What the hell's going on? Why can I not find this fucking character? Jesus Christ.
Shoot, I'm trying to actually remember too. I'm actually gonna look as well just to help you out even more.
Yeah, dude, because like it could totally tie in, man. And I had a whole point.
What
I
was
can't.
like the what was like the
It was like
your
the whole
theory?
trial of Jean Grey and stuff. Like they could totally do the Phoenix Force like storyline and really drag this thing out. And Hulk could potentially be crossing hairs with this character because he might have sent the ship to space, so it might not be from Sakaar. It might be a different ship where he sent it to space to get Bruce Banner's help to do something or something like that. Or excuse me, or they could be looking into the Phoenix Force that's on its way to Earth but hasn't got there yet. You know, so there's like a lot of potential X-Men crossover type things that they could do there, especially with them teasing Wolverine's what got my head thinking about it. But I will find the damn character, I swear, man, and we will have to. I'll bring this up later. But this character could totally tie into the MCU because they've never used him in any of the movies either. So it's like this character totally fits in since they have all the Fox characters now, and will be cool addition to see up in there. But moving on, so I don't get stuck on the same thing for too long. What were your overall thoughts on the episode, my man? Like, just what really stuck out to you, positive, anything negative, and stuff like that. And yeah, man, just your overall thoughts on it.
This honestly, it's very neutral. Like I feel like it was way shorter. It seems
Yeah, it
like
was like 28 minutes or something like that. It was
yeah,
definitely it was like TV length. Like it was like straight up episodic TV length, which was like
yeah.
kind of different. And it's like, damn, okay. But it really fit everything in a concise manner. So
Mhm.
it's working, man. Like this episodic TV feel for She-Hulk is really working.
That's what because like it seems like from when I got into it, like it felt like very neutral. I was like, okay, so we kind of get a little bit more of Tim Roth's character with Abomination, and
Yep.
obviously you turned to it's kind of like a different type of obviously character from what we've seen from the Incredible Hulk. And that's
Yeah.
when I was like, okay, so there's gonna be some swap with that. I don't mind it. It seems like it's gonna be pretty cool. He does, like how you mentioned before, how he kind of like had to train Abomination with his other half to kind of come to one. But like I don't know, I kind of like I feel like there's might be something behind it, maybe not. He might like he could easily go bad and might be deceiving to everybody around him,
Oh yeah, for sure.
or he can actually be that he flipped the coin, he becomes all good and stuff like that, and he might be in the upcoming he might be might be starring in the other like upcoming shows and movies as a possibility. So it was cool kind of seeing him back into the group of things and everything so forth. But overall, like I would say as She-Hulk, it kind of I did like it does kind of suck seeing her like going through like that whole her getting rejected constantly, like throughout all of her
Yeah,
job offers. And it
for
makes
real.
sense too, because like that would be if you're gonna be going up against in the regular day-to-day core, people will favor you the most because you're just a superhero. You're like you're She-Hulk pretty much in a sense. Like you're gonna end up being like having people's opinions of being on your side right off the bat. So I could kind of see why they kind of like, a lot of people were rejecting her and stuff like that. So it makes sense for her to go to that superhero courtroom, and it's gonna be interesting to see what kind of character she's gonna come across with.
Like I said, I think I know one of them. I think I know one of them.
Are you thinking Wong?
Oh yeah, for sure.
For
But
sure, Wong.
I think she's gonna meet well yeah, because she has to figure out what's going on with him in the prison break, and she's gonna have to meet Wong probably for that reason. So I
Yeah,
think
probably
that's
makes
the whole
sense.
tie in there. And I like
Mhm.
how we couldn't really predict that was why. So that's kind of really cool how they played with something we didn't see before, but we couldn't predict it for this. So really good shit on the trailers and the team on the MCU on that one. Good shit. But
Mhm.
but I think this is how we're gonna see Matt Murdock. I think he works at the same law firm.
You think it could be at the time with the time jump and stuff like that,
I think
or if they're
so.
gonna decide doing the reboot. But Matt Murdock, he can easily because nobody knows who really Daredevil is.
Nope, never found out.
So Matt Murdock, he might just be. I feel like how they're gonna meet, it's gonna be probably somewhere within the city. Like she might have to go out somewhere in around Hell's Kitchen towards like New York to travel for a client. I think that's where she might run into him because I feel like Matt Murdock will probably most likely um because he's not going to go anywhere. He's gonna like his character is always going to be Hell's Kitchen. That's where
True.
he's going to
Doesn't really
defend
go
them.
around all of New York, but they could
Mhm.
be switching that up. But I get what you're saying. That is
Yeah,
kind of his stomping grounds.
and
You know what
plus
I'm saying?
like he can easily like just do all that and represent like people in the higher corporations without dealing with all the superheroes and stuff like that. Like he'll probably deal with him on his night job as Daredevil, but not really too much during his day job and stuff like that. But
Right. Because they
I,
showed some footage kind of of them in costume meeting each other, when she
Mhm.
has the comic accurate costume, and then he has the new yellowish, more classic costume. So it's gonna be
Mhm.
interesting to see like when that happens and what brings that to a head. But I also think too, potentially maybe he doesn't work at the law firm, but he might be on the opposing side of a case she goes on, whether it's
Oh,
Blonsky
yeah.
or something else. I could totally see that because he's just a lawyer that works for, whoever. So he could totally pop up in that sense too.
Mhm.
But like you said, it could be a total Daredevil situation and she doesn't meet Matt Murdock yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's totally possible. But that was just my brain because I'm like, he's a lawyer, she's a lawyer. I feel like that's a missed
That could
opportunity,
that they can easily do that if they were gonna,
you
like,
know?
reboot the character to that point,
It was like
but
Spider-Man, he needed it. Peter Parker needed it at the time. I thought like that those kind of tie-ins with Matt Murdock, I thought really makes sense because that's usually in the comics I've read with him crossing over. That's how it
Mhm.
usually happens. They run into him in costume or they run into Matt Murdock. And
Yeah,
then they end up
it's always a
eventually meeting Daredevil. Yeah, but it's always kind of within a court case or something like that. Like Matt Murdock was at a circus one time. Spider-Man ended up being there fighting some dudes. He ended up suiting up. But there was a whole nother time where he was representing a case and then he ended up having to represent Spider-Man and stuff like that. So
yeah,
they
time.
could do something in that similar fashion, but I don't know. But that was
Yeah.
just kind of my guess.
I feel yeah, yeah, and it's like and they could easily go within that route too. So it's like, with all of that, I wonder I wonder like with the other cameos because we haven't seen Frogman yet. I know for sure
Nope.
that the next episode we're obviously going to have Wong in there because that's with the prison break.
Tying into this,
That's
yeah. Like I was like,
tying
I'm pretty
into the whole
sure.
thing. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so there's gonna be some of that. I think overall, like with thinking back with the character, I don't mind her so much and stuff like that. Like as a character, she's obviously going through her things and stuff, and it is shorter episodes. So I'm kind of interested to see where they're going to end up taking Jennifer Walters as a overall character and see what they're going to do with her in the upcoming future.
For sure,
Be-
for sure.
because it's yeah, because right now we only got like little glimpses here and there. Like right now she's like trying to like bounce back. She finally got herself a job as a superhero representative for superheroes and pretty much things like that, and that's pretty much it. So there's still like my thoughts behind it. It's still I'm still on like iffy okay side. It's not my type of show for sure, but it's like for sure not up there for me. It's not really up like too all interested for me overall.
I feel you, man. I feel you on that, man. I'll say for my overall reaction, I'm exactly where I was last week. I'm having a pretty good time. Like Jennifer Walters as a character. I like to me, I feel like they're being very economic with their storytelling and moving it along at a very good pace. They're not like
Mhm.
speeding along through anything too fast. We're getting time to get to know Jennifer. Every plot point in the way we're tying into the MCU to me has felt very seamless in the first two episodes. It's not shoehorned in there. It all makes sense. And the way they tied it into your timeline and everything like that, I think is really good. Love her chemistry with Bruce Banner and everyone on screen. Really, just really like Tatiana Maslany in this. She's really good. Really like her. Can't wait to see her do even more in the MCU.
Mhm.
Her bantering with Thor sounds like a lot of fun. Her
Yeah.
bantering with freaking Groot or something. There's so many like different possibilities with it, depending where Guardians 3 goes. Her
Mhm.
talking to Scott Lang, that sounds pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
So
A
it's
lot
pretty
of good.
fun to see where she'll go. A lot of good opportunities there. But yeah, I don't like this episode any more than the last one, or I don't dislike it any more than the last one. I'm pretty much at the same place overall. But I did love the way that they kind of flipped the script there with the ending and how it ties into the whole prison break with Wong and all that stuff and how they're tying that in. So I really like the way they did that because I wasn't really able to predict that and see it coming when I've seen and know all this shit in the MCU except maybe Incredible Hulk, I guess.
Mhm.
so
Right.
so I liked how they really they kind of, and like you said, those Easter eggs, great stuff.
Yeah.
Wolverine, bro, like goddamn, and you
As a
snuck it by me.
possibility. Yeah,
Yeah,
as a
like that's
possibility.
cool
That's why I was
shit,
like, oh
which
man.
I like. Yeah. So I like how they're really I don't know, man, like this one just really fits into the mold of the MCU, I think, very seamlessly.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely not going to be like way up there in my overall MCU projects, but I would say the MCU shows, I would say if it continues on this path, it'll be more satisfying than Moon Knight because it's
Mhm.
just it is what it is and it kind of knows what it is, and I like that we get to see the action, we get to see the transformations and all that good jazz. We're not like too shortchanged with the character development and certain plot points and things like Moon Knight, just a little too all over the place at times. This to
Mhm.
me has been very, very like on point with what it's doing. So if they continue it's definitely going to be a very good positive show for me overall. And but yeah, I would say I like it, man. Don't love it, but I definitely really like it, and I'll give this one probably a 7 out of 10, just slightly better than before. I'll probably give the series right now, or just episode 2, 7 out of 10, just as
Mm,
entertaining as the last one. Really surprised me there at the end, and I love the Easter eggs and the whole Hulk thing. With
mm.
gotta go, see it, peace out. Love
That's
that.
that's
So
it.
many potential things with that, and now
Mhm.
it's kind of like he's out of the show. She can shine and kind of do her own thing. So I
Right.
like just I don't know. I like the way they're doing the storytelling with this episode. Like they know what they want the show to be. They're not going too huge of stakes, but they know. But it's good enough. It fits in. There's enough action and intrigue going on. This one didn't have as much action going on as the
It's
previous episode, but it's She-Hulk. You know you're going to get some Hulk action.
that's
So
some
I know it's definitely going to be coming down the line. But I like the series, man. It's good. Like I definitely would say it's not as good as Miss Marvel, just to go with the last one. I think I definitely was enjoying that way more in the first 2 episodes than this one. Not way more, but a good, decent bit more.
good amount, right?
Yeah, like it was in that 8B range for me. This is more in that C range. Very good. Just not great, but it's really
Right.
good.
It's passing for you. It's passing. It's getting
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I get you. I
Like
think
I'm
for me,
excited to watch it because it's just pleasant to watch. Nothing, not like, oh, this is too goofy or get to the point or it's too short. What the fuck? Like you rushed it. Like I'm not feeling any of those negative emotions.
I feel what I've been hearing too. This is why I'm like kind of skeptical about the show. I fear that the first few episodes is what people talk about the most, but the episode 3 and 4 might
I
get
hear her more shaky. Yeah.
it's more shaky. And that's why I was like, for that's why like I'm kind of worried. I'm trying my best to give it like to give them like a solid like chance. Like for me, it's still gonna be at the same 5.5. I enjoy like the Easter eggs and stuff like that we seen
Yeah.
throughout the
Great stuff,
show.
man. That's some
And
of the
then
best Easter eggs in any of the shows.
yeah, yeah, and then that's why I was like, I'm like, I enjoy that, but it's just like I know like what kind of audience that they're trying to go for.
Mhm.
It's not gonna be appealing to
It's
me
not
like
us, yeah. So it's
really.
not gonna hit like that. Like Miguel, I talked to him yesterday, and he's doing good up there, doing his thing. But he was telling me he's caught up with with these 2 episodes or with the first episode, but he's not loving it either. Like he says, like it's like like Miss Marvel was kind of for him, and I was like, I kind of expected that.
Yeah, like we can obviously like give it like our like give it like harsh negative reviews, but obviously that's just because we're not really a huge fan of like these type of shows. But in reality, we're trying to just stay neutral with it, trying to be like, all right, we kind of see where you're trying to go with it, and kind of go for like that type of crowd for vibe
Yeah,
wise and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Like Miss Marvel for me, dope show. Honestly,
I didn't mind that Miss Marvel at all. I was like, okay, I'm like, I dig it. I digged it like a lot from the earlier episodes, like the first 3 or 4.
yeah. Like you're
I know
probably like a bit more positive than Miguel. Probably like he'd probably be at like a 5 or a 6. You probably be like a 6 or a 7. Probably I'd say, right?
for Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
I would say like it will be like a 6.5 for sure, leading on
See,
to a
that's what I
7.
was thinking. Like a 6 to yeah. See, that's what I figured you landed. I'm more like I'd probably go like 7.75, 8. Like
I
really had a good time with it, man. It's just the villain stuff and the end
that
stuff in the last 2 episodes, bro. If they'd have stuck the landing there,
that's what the
top
issue
2.
was for me. It easily could have gone up to 7.5, no doubt. But they ending with the villain and how they concluded the story, they just like it felt like it landed
Yeah.
on
The
the face.
superhero stuff did not deliver at the end. Everything else for me was hitting, bro. Character
Yeah.
development, killing it. Fucking action, pretty damn good. Like not bad. The
Mm,
effects, not the greatest, but definitely not shitty. And
right.
I like the way that she developed using her powers. I thought they did that excellently.
Yeah.
And like I said, Kamala Khan, loved everything about her and all that stuff. Loved the family and everything like that. It's just the superhero stuff sometimes was a little shaky,
It was rough.
especially in the last 2.
Definitely. I had to like 100% agree with that. That's why for me it was just like it was a great starting point, but it didn't do too well towards the
Yeah, like
end.
4 episodes. Like I was like, excellent. 4 of the
Mm,
best episodes in the fucking MCU, bro. I'll go out and say that shit right
yeah,
now.
it was like it was like pretty entertaining. I enjoyed it. I think what kind of like shifted for me was when Kamala ended up going back in time and stuff like that. That's when it kind of like started to
Same
get
here.
iffy for me. I was like, okay,
Liked the story, just was a little shaken up in like the time they did it and stuff like that. I thought just a
yeah,
little more back and forth would have been better for me. Like what's
At
going on in
least,
the present, what's going on in the past, because we needed to know that. But it was just like, and the actress who played her ancestor, the young version,
mm-hmm.
great. Like I want to see her do more stuff just in film and stuff in general. She was awesome.
Yeah, she
And
did a wonderful job.
and the guy that played the grandfather, he was a good actor too. But
Yeah.
she was awesome, man. Really, really kick ass in there. I like the whole like time loop thing. It's kind of contradictory to the time travel stuff as we know it, but I just like the thematic way that they played it out. But it is a little like on the lore, like, wait a minute,
What's
I
going
thought you
on
couldn't
here?
do that. Yeah. But it's
Right?
like I like the theme in the story in and of itself. But if I'm talking about tie-ins, yeah, that's kind of weird. But I liked
Yeah.
it in the show. But if you try to put it with other things, it doesn't line up. So it's just those clunky things with episode 4, 5, and 6, where it was, or like, yeah, 4, 5, and 6, where I was like, oh shit, dude, you were way up there, and then you just dropped a little bit for me. So I was like, oh, I was like,
Yeah.
damn, they almost
I,
stuck the landing. They almost
that's
stuck the landing.
that's what I'm kind of hoping that it's because it's kind of like the feeling how I'm feeling with She-Hulk because so far it's kind of like how I was feeling with Miss Marvel towards like the end, like the later episodes towards like the last two. It
I
kind of
probably
like
say the same thing. Yeah,
it's
like
like
good, not great. Yeah,
yeah, it's like it's kind of this like
pretty good. Yeah.
it's like iffy. I think at this point, like I want to see more of like because like with the show that like I can't really say I want to see more of a certain thing because like the show what they're really targeting is just like it's episodic, right? And then like she's going dealing with like kind of like what was that crime show that they were making a comparison with?
Ally McBeal.
Yeah, like that Ally McBeal, and then like it was like like kind of that Sex in the City vibe, and I'm just
Yep.
like not really my huge cup of tea.
Same
So
here.
like I can't really just say like oh they kind of go completely towards like a 360 and do go this certain way. It's something that they're already written already about and they're already going about. And there is one thing that will mention probably towards like the finale of what I like well some of the rumors that I heard about. But I want to watch like the rest of the show first
Yeah,
before
wait
I
and see.
actually
Yeah, before we get too, we don't put it. We don't want to put too many ideas in our head any further before we see what they actually are gonna do. Yeah,
yeah like I until like I fully see like the product itself and hearing like my thoughts about like some certain rumors went about when it comes to the creative side of the show and things like that.
mm.
I want to see exactly what the show is fully, and then really talk about it when we wrap it up in the season finale in the upcoming future.
I feel you, man. That's why I'm kind of in the same thing. Like, I'm not gonna judge it like too. Like, I'm not gonna be like, I love the show, it's gonna be great, or I don't like this show, the shit sucks, or something like that. Like, I'm not too much in between there.
Hmm.
Enjoying it, entertained, um, a slight bit more than I was expecting. So that's probably why I'm more on a 7. Like, I am enjoying the MCU Marvel side of it. That blends with kind of that tone and kind of that Ally McBeal feel that we're not necessarily always watching. But I think it's at least balanced enough for me right now. But I
Hmm.
definitely hope, like when Daredevil comes into play, I definitely hope that really ties in really cool. So I think that the best stuff of the show could be to come when we
Hmm.
get past 3 and 4. Because, like I said, almost universally, I've heard 3 and 4 probably are just not as good as 1 and 2. But we
Yeah,
haven't heard anything about 5 through 9. So that's
yeah.
why I'm kind of like, I think that might be that high gear that the show really needs. It's probably going to be a lot of that Daredevil stuff, a lot of what the show is building to and where Jennifer Walters is going to go. I think is going to be a lot more in those last 3 to 4 episodes. So I think we
Hmm.
could be in for a pleasant surprise, or we could just be in for more of the same. So I'm definitely just cautiously optimistic. I'm definitely more excited for House of the Dragon, which is kind of weird for me to say, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely more excited for that episode next week than this one. But I'm definitely tuning into this because it's a good time.
Yeah,
Not
and
disliking it, just not blowing me away. But I didn't really expect that. So maybe my expectation level was just perfectly set, I guess, going into it.
that's the
Wasn't
same for
expecting
me.
to love it. So I'm kind of like where I wanted to be.
No, I totally understand. It's the same thing for me. Like I coming into She-Hulk and even Miss Marvel, my expectations were just not set too high. It was like, okay, I want to check it out, and
Exactly. Yeah.
if it's good, then that's great. If it's not what I think it was going to be, like if it was bad, then I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of what like I kind of assumed from watching like the
Yeah.
trailers stuff like that, and
I'm
it's just
fine.
something.
Black
Yeah,
Panther 2
like
is around the corner. I'll be all right.
yeah, I see exactly, and that's a whole other can of worms itself too within the movie. But like, yeah, that's just how I feel with like the show so far. Um, I would say this though, the CGI, there is like sometimes like at some points I feel like the CGI is pretty choppy. I was like,
More
there'll
so
be
in this one than the last episode, I'd say.
definitely feel like when she's like even at the bar, I was like,
Yeah,
you
that's
kind of
where it
see
bugged
that.
me the most.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I'm like,
Mm.
they could have polished this up a bit. I mean, this is something that I like people were criticizing with the trailer first trailer release with how the people were
Mhm.
saying that looks of so far. And I'm like, okay, so there's that. There's yeah, that's kind of a thing. I'm hoping that maybe later on that it kind of gets fixed, but it's gonna be
I
tough.
feel like it's gonna be about the same. I feel like this might be a little bit more of a budgetary constraint type issue. I think if we see Jennifer in a movie, I think she's gonna look better,
I feel
personally.
like I feel like that's probably what it is too.
So I was hearing
It's a-
something in an article about them talking about budgetary stuff. There's certain things they were going to do they had to cut out. So I think they can't get the Bruce Banner level of the CGI with it. It's going to be more Incredible Hulk right now. I think we're going to get the better look when we see her in the future. And if the show does really well, like numbers wise for the service and everything like that, they might even put a little more money in a season 2 if that's the plan. But I think
Mhm.
when we see her in live action, live action. Oh my gosh, when we see her
The
on the big screen, it's going to be
right.
polished up quite a bit. I really do think.
I think that's if they do that, they'll easily can just recycle that material and use it for even if she's gonna appear in other
Yeah,
shows or other movies. Because that's
yeah,
how it feels too. Because it feels like this is like the rough draft or the first draft of what She-Hulk is and all that
yeah,
other stuff. Obviously, there's bugs and things along that way,
yeah,
but that's how kind of how it was with even with Mark Ruffalo's
for sure. Yeah,
the Hulk way back in the day. Like there were some spots that was not as choppy because it was like a movie, but you see some of it here and there. I think
yeah,
especially
like Avengers 1. Yeah.
in Avengers one, I would even say in some of it in like a smart Hulk. Like
Mm.
I felt like some of it was kind of like that in Endgame. I was like, okay. I'm like, I could get by it. It's like a new look for him. He's smart
Yeah.
Hulk
In
wearing
that
glasses.
particular film, that's such a small, minute detail compared to a
Yeah,
lot of other movies. You're like, okay, whatever. There's
yeah,
like
and
a
I'm
million
like,
characters in here, so
yeah, true. And then that's why I'm like, man, I could have critiqued him like, why the fuck is he wearing glasses to this day? I'm like, he could have
that
20.
is, dude. I'm telling you, bro. I never, ever, ever, ever thought about it until you brought it up, and I'm like, that is so hilariously so accurate, bro.
Yeah,
It is so funny.
that's why it was just like I'm like, okay. I'm like, I guess you want to give him that history look. I guess I'm like, I would have thought with his gamma rays and stuff like that, they would have amplified his sight, especially when if he was the Hulk himself, he doesn't really need the glasses.
Yeah, like I'm fine. Like it's not gonna like make me like upset or anything, but it's just
Yeah,
funny. Like I'm like,
yeah.
oh
It's
shit,
just like
huh?
it's just that funny thought. That's why I was like, okay. I'm like, that's just it's just strange, but it is what it is. I guess it's just you're going for cosmetics. I guess at that point, but yeah.
Exactly, yeah, but not a major deal. But yeah, man. So overall, I guess we would give it a just a moderately positive review. I guess you'd say, right? Like
I would say
overall
I
here
would
at
say like
Fandom Frequency, yeah.
yeah, moderately neutral, some positivity that comes
Yeah,
with it.
neutral to positive, man. Like we solid show. You know what I'm saying? But for those people that like Ally McBeal, that like procedurals, you know, things of that nature, uh, especially like Sex in the City and other things like that. For not just the ladies out there, just forever. People that like that kind of stuff, this is very much for you. And I think people that are very much more casual movie fans or MCU fans that just like the fun, more lighthearted stuff, I think this is really going to be that property for those people that's really going to shine for them. A lot of people's
Mhm.
like significant others, mothers, sisters. I think that's really the crowd that's really going to take to this more than people like us, those hardcore superhero MCU nerds. You know, I think this it's just not necessarily that. Andor, for example, that looks like that's going to be right up our alley, right?
Right,
Or
yeah.
Cobra Kai, you know what I mean? Give
Mhm.
it to me right this second. Put it in my veins right now, like so I think it's just knowing those things. I think just, and for all of you out there, I think just know yourself and know your taste going into this one. That's all I'd say. Good show. Just know what you dig and what you're into before you go in. If
It's
you're a
like any other
hardcore MCU, this is not Loki. This is not Falcon Winter Soldier, y'all. So
yeah,
just
yeah.
keep that in mind.
It's like any other comic or any like just anything in general. Like
Yeah.
it's just if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, then it's not for you, obviously.
Yeah.
And then
And She-Hulk comic fans, this is for you. This is for
yeah,
you.
it's like it's definitely. That's why like with critiquing for the show, I'm not gonna like bash on it. I know that in the
Yeah.
internet and the internet, people are bashing on it relentlessly.
I
I'm like,
don't get it, bro. I'm like, there's so much worse shit in Marvel, DC, any of that, bro. Any of that, guys. Have you seen Ghost Rider 2? Have you seen Blade Trinity? You know, like, come
yeah,
on, guys,
there's
come on.
I think
Fantastic Four from 2015, Suicide Squad,
from
Justice
yeah,
League, I mean
see,
Justice League, excuse me. Come on, y'all. Come on.
there's a lot of worse things out there, right? That's
Come
why
on.
like I'm not too harsh. Like I'll give it
Yeah.
like the score I give it, but I'm not gonna like go out
Shit
vulgarly
sucks. Like,
saying like
it's
yeah. I mean
cool. It's all
it's
right. You know what I mean? That's like
it's
the
there.
perfect thing for me. It's all right.
It's like it's all right. It's
Yeah,
like
you know? It's
for
like, come
me,
on, guys.
it's just something like it doesn't have to go that far that the negativity talks about and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Like, come on, y'all. Book of Boba Fett came out this year. Could we please relax?
God, don't
You
even
know
get
what
me
I mean?
started,
It's like
dude.
we could go on a whole nother episode just to, how disappointing it was. So it's like, come on,
Yeah,
guys. Just relax, relax. The MCU's got plenty in the can. If you don't like this one, there's a lot more coming. So
yeah, true.
just, let's try to keep it civil out there, guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to keep it positive. You know what I mean? And just want to say thank you to everyone that checked out this latest episode. Like I said, it's going to be on the podcast feed. So if you like to listen on your commute while you're working out, on your jog, it's perfect for that. So it's going to be over there. Make sure you follow us on all your podcast feeds, wherever you listen to them. It really does help the show out a lot. And all the downloads you guys have been doing really helps. So make sure you just keep that up, guys. Make sure you follow us on the social media pages. Just want to push that a little bit more. IG at fandom_frequency and at fan_frequency over there on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow us over there. We do some, we'll do some polls every now and again. We get a lot of the latest news topics that we don't get to on our different podcasts and YouTube episodes. So make sure you check us out over there and interact with us there. And if you're working on something cool, send it our way. We'd love to check it out. We've got
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my buddies recently sending me their music, sending me what they're working on. My buddy just launched a clothing brand with his friends recently. So,
Heck yeah.
whatever you're working on, follow us over there. Let us know. Just talk to a homegirl of mine I used to work with on music and stuff a few years back on my last project. She just checked out the show. She said she was digging it. So, we're just getting this community going, guys, and it's just about highlighting each other's stuff and having a good time talking about all the stuff we love to listen and watch and read. But any last parting words before we dip out of here, my friend?
No, not really. As always, just be safe out there. Take
No
care,
stuff.
and have a great day. Have a great night. Whenever time you're listening to this, make it great.
Exactly, man. So, yep. So until we see you guys on the next one, like we said, we're doing She-Hulk reviews every single week, guys. It's going to be here on the channel. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be me and my boy Skips. Should be pretty much all of us on there. House of the Dragon, episode 2. Next Monday, we're going to have that recap right there. So make sure you don't sleep on any of that, guys. And don't forget, guys, don't forget Cobra Kai, Rings of Power. Those are right around the corner as well. Clerks 3 is coming up pretty soon. So we got a lot of great content, guys. So don't be sleeping on any of that goodness, man. And until next time, make sure you stay tuned, you don't sleep, and don't run around with Emil Blonsky unless you want to get into a prison break, all right? Watch out for Wong. He'll get you in trouble, too. He'll get you in trouble, guys.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty.
But yeah, man. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe out there, y'all. And we love you. Peace
out.